So we had a complaint. People in this car were yelling at the kids in the playground. That's why you're being stopped right now, okay? We'd like to hear your side if there was, like, someone saying something to you first or something like that.
Am I going back to jail?
I don't think so. If someone did yell something, just let's have out with it right now.
I didn't yell anything.
Did anybody in the car yell anything? All right, well, I tell you what. Let me go talk to Officer Roden, and I'll get you your answers in a little bit, okay?
I don't care. Give me as much tape as I want. Yeah. I'm just trying to stay out of jail.
Okay.
I don't know if you try to just do whatever you can and not get me in jail, I guess.
I get you. Step out of the car for me.
For what?
So I'm asking you to. Step out of the car.
So we had a complaint. People in this car were yelling at the kids in the playground. That's why you're being stopped right now, okay? We'd like to hear your side if there was, like, someone saying something to you first or something like that.
Am I going back to jail?
I don't think so. If someone did yell...
Damn, yelling is a crime? Wow. Didn't know that.
I just want to ask you one thing. So if you had to pay back Walmart, how much do you think that it would be?
You know we're going to go back and review video. Are we going to go back through video and find you putting stuff in those boxes?
More on it than you are now, the less hard it's going to be.
I don't want to have to take a whole bunch of arrest warrants on you that you don't know about, so you get pulled over with your kids in the car and get taken to jail. You have somebody that can take care of your kids?
Not really.
Well, you're going to have to. Call somebody because you're going to go to jail today. I can't let you go, considering you've done this 4 or 5 other times.
So I just want to ask you one.
The best.
L.O.X, the rest easy. Yeah. Loyalist hip hop group, the game needs me. Top 5 silverback. Lows. Raise your glasses, my niggas, let's go.
Yeah. Never snitch, never hit your man shit. You niggas don't get it cause you ain't got the bandwidth to finish the game with those you made the plan with. I shall finish the game on my Billy the Kid shit when I'm giving them pain.
Let's go.
Yeah. Mafia rules, what do you live by? Life is a bitch, not the one that had the kid by. Gave niggas jewels, I giving these niggas pain. Gave niggas love that wasn't given the same. Loyalty is royalty, that'll make me a king. L.O.X, the game needs me. We are the truth, my nigga, please believe me. So just fall back and be easy.
Hey, yo. You ain't watching, but I can see they don't care for you. Cause everything you do, you hoping that they cheer for you. You treat them better than them niggas that was there for you. He don't want nothing, but that nigga never hear from you. Fuck it, let's have a toast to forgetting my number. Let's have a toast, don't come around to the end of the summer. Raise your glass for the last dollar, I'll let you ball. Now bow your head, cause fuck it if you die tomorrow. The game different, not even the same rules. We learn from hip-hop, but we ain't go to the same schools. We built our whole career, but we ain't use the same tools. Now raise your glass if you tired of these fools,
nigga. What you believe, we train for combat here. Get busy doing work like it's a contract, yeah. Bunch of liquor, a lot of smoke, catching contact here. So if money ain't involved in it, I'm not there. Yeah, phallus, one of the quickest to show you malice. Shoot your mom after she finished doing dialysis. Yeah, I know y'all niggas is wild, but we the wildest. How you turn a 3-bedroom into a palace? Just one of my habits. If it's good, I grab it. Jail niggas thirsty for this music on them tablets. L.O. And we way better than them other dudes. All they is program robots.
L.
Peace and blessings and good morning, y'all. This is DVJ and Michelle, and this is a Cold World Podcast. Yeah, we're coming to y'all from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Yeah, I might have said it earlier already, but if I did, it's all good. It's Friday, y'all. It is Friday. Once again. You know what I mean? Today, hopefully, will be a good day. You know, the Sade Robinson trial is wrapping up. And it's looking like that Max Anderson is going to be convicted. I sure hope so, at least. It's a case wrapped up. The defense rested. They didn't even present any witnesses or anything. So the jury started deliberating yesterday. So hopefully they'll come back with a verdict early this morning. You know what I mean? And then Sade Robinson's family can finally start to, you know what I mean, look forward and get some closure. Let's see what else is going on, y'all. Indiana Pacers won game 1 last night by 1 point. Good shit. like I said, if Indiana wins, I'm not going to be pissed. That's where I was born at. You know what I mean? But I've been in Milwaukee over 90% of my life. So I've been in Milwaukee since I was 2 years old. So, and y'all know I'm touching 50 now. So I've been here forever. Let's see what else is going on, y'all. Elephant in the room, right? Elon Musty and Donald Trumpy not seeing eye to eye. Just like Michelle and I said, and a bunch of other people said, when them two first, you know what I'm saying, started hanging out and doing it, I was like, oh, that ain't gonna last, because they're either, you got two guys with huge egos and that are, you know, billionaires like that, and they're just, they gotta be, they need all the oxygen in the room, you know what I mean? And they both need to be the star of the show, which ain't gonna work out, but they're both racist. They only care about themselves, them and their family, so let's not lose sight of who these people are. They're still grade A assholes and racist people and billionaires that don't give a fuck about anybody or anything normal or common. So, and then you see, like, I'll just say this, you see, like, all these tweets coming out, like Trump said, there was one, like, late last night or early this morning that says something about that Nazi salute that Elon did during the campaign. I guess Trump in his tweet last night said that it was a Nazi salute. We all know that or whatever. Well, then why didn't you condemn it then? Why wouldn't you condemn it then? If we all know that, why didn't you condemn it when it happened? Why did you allow him to keep coming around? Why would you allow that bitch to have, basically to have everyone's information? Because he has all our information, y'all know that, right? That Elon Musk and his boys. So, like, why would you allow him to do that? So, yeah, it's just been all one big game with them. But you knew that was going to come to a head. When you got two super huge egos like that, that don't work out when they're working that closely together. Because, like, Elon was starting to outshine Trumpy. And Trumpy don't like that. Orange Man don't like that. So they're going back and forth about the Epstein files and all this other stuff. And Trump said there's no white genocide in South Africa. He's right about that. But if you knew all of this before, then why? See, and that lets you know the shit is disingenuous and that they're full of shit. Because you can't come out and say, oh, well, you knew all this stuff, blah, 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 but then still allow them to be that way. So, yeah, they're both pieces of shit. They'll never, either one of them will never get off my shit list. You know what I mean? And I wish nothing but the worst for both of them. I love it that Elon's, I mean, he's still a billionaire, but I love that his companies are, you know, that he's losing money and that he's having to go through all of this. I love it. I love seeing him be stressed out and shit. You know, because he needs to learn how to feel how most of us do on some days, stressed out, anxious, or whatever, you know, the stuff that we feel as normal people, just dealing with all our everyday life shit. And a lot of times they don't get to experience that. So it's nice to see, you know, that Elon Musk losing money and just sweating a little bit, you know what I mean? Coffee, shout out Collectivo Coffee. That's the best coffee in the land, y'all. Yeah, but either way, I'm not going to spend too much time on that because everyone else is going to be talking about that. Just like if you pay attention, like Michelle and I, we haven't done a lot of conversation on like the Diddy trial and stuff, because everyone else is talking about that. And I'm not gonna keep piling on another black man when everyone else is doing it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not adding to it. You know what I mean? Y'all have at it. Whoever wants to have at it, go ahead, get after it. I'm not. I'm choosing not to. Because to me, it's just a pile on. You know what I mean? And then someone could say, well, you know, you should be talking about where everyone else is. This is my lane. I'm going to talk about things that are more significant, I guess. I'm talking about in everyday society. Because that's the other thing. Most people, because someone could say, oh, well, you could learn something from that trial, and there's a lot that goes into that. You know, there's a lot of, you know, domestic violence stuff going on in there, a lot of communication issues. Like, there's an issue, like, that, you know, can be discussed about, you know, having healthy relationships and stuff like that. Not, you know, just, you know, make sure you're messing with the right people and all that. Yeah, but, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. But either way, we're going to get to today's episode. So I'm just going to say enjoy the music, the clips, and the content. Yeah, what a game last night, though. Indiana pulled that shit out. Won by 1 point. Halliburton's getting it done. I think with Halliburton, a lot of people don't like the reason his game looks awkward. You know what I mean? It's not fluid. It don't look. It's just like, man. Yeah, he just don't look like he can play ball. You know what I mean? But he keeps on winning and he keeps on getting shit done. So I guess that's all that matters. All right, y'all. Enjoy the music, the clips, and the content. Morning, baby.
Morning.
Just having a cigarette, made coffee, running the dishwasher, popped Create on. I was watching Ask This Whole House earlier, too.
Oh.
And Wisconsin Foodie.
Yeah, I had a book on.
Hmm?
I had a book on.
An audio book?
Yeah.
Yeah. I slept okay. How'd you sleep so far?
Okay. I kept waking up, though. It's been happening to me all week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at the time and then tell myself how much time I have left.
The verdict is today. Shot at Robinson.
Yeah.
Man. You got Elon Musk and Trump turning on each other.
I love it.
I love it.
It's so funny. It's fun to watch.
It is. But like I was saying too, though, like, I don't want people to lose sight of, though, that these are both still, like, asshole human beings.
Exactly.
Like Elon Musk, because it feels like, because I was looking online and you saw people being like, oh, so we're going to unblock Elon Musk now and all this bullshit. Dude, he's still an asshole. He still came in, bust the government down,
right,
taking all this shit and, like, firing people and doing all this bullshit. Like, so, like, he don't get no pass. He's still the same asshole. It's just two assholes that are fighting with each other, right, but they're both still assholes, right?
Right.
Like nothing,
Exactly.
nothing. Like I still feel the same about both of them.
Right.
I just think I just love seeing the infighting because we said it. We said this shit months ago that that them two weren't gonna last that long. You got two huge egos like that.
Yeah.
You got two smartest guys in the room that ain't gonna work out. They're gonna be bumping heads. And then supposedly, like, they were saying, like, they didn't like Elon's just his personality.
Yeah,
like, he's kind of a weird dude, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like watch Trump put all the systems back in place that Elon got rid of.
Don't be surprised if he bans the South Africaners now.
Oh yeah,
because there was more buses coming.
He's not doing them.
He's about to get rid of them now. They're about to
terrorists.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's listen. Let's see what's going on. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, but
all of this stemming from this bill, this congressional spending bill. Elon Musk earlier this week starting to attack the bill pretty aggressively. We first saw Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary, respond to this in real time. She was giving a press briefing and she laughed it off, saying Donald Trump knows where Elon Musk stands.
And the only reason that Elon is going against Trump's bitch ass now is because he's losing money. That's the only reason why. He's worried about his bottom line. He don't care about the public in general.
The rolling back of electric vehicle credits, and that's why Elon Musk was mad. We were also told that Trump himself, behind closed doors, before he reacted, was speculating this was all about business for Musk, that this was all about him going back to Tesla, and these were things he needed to do. But today, Donald Trump broke his silence, was asked a question about Musk, and really went into him, saying he was disappointed in Musk, that this was all about those electric vehicle credits, that they had a very good relationship. He didn't know if they were going to have one again. Musk then began responding himself in real time on Twitter, on X, his own platform, hitting back at several things that Donald Trump said. Now, this continued to go on until the attacks got personal. At one point, Musk saying that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. That itself, trying to have a low blow here to Donald Trump. Now, it was quiet after that. We saw Donald Trump's only engagement in this was a post about the bill, saying he was fine with Elon turning on him, but he wished he wouldn't turn on him.
Oh, you see what Trump said late last night or early this morning? He said that Elon Musk salute was a Nazi salute.
Oh, my God.
He said it was a Nazi salute. We all know it. Well, then why the fuck didn't you condemn it then?
Right.
Bitch.
I love this.
There's a reason that this is his focus. It is because the director from the top.
What, baby?
I said this is comedy gold.
Comedy gold. Yep. But I'm gonna ask, while they're sitting there arguing with each other, though, y'all need to start fixing shit up, though. Mm-hmm. Do your fucking jobs. Do your goddamn jobs. Stop taking stuff away. Stop firing people. Stop doing all the bullshit. Get off your racist bullshit. Well, it's too late for them to get off their racist bullshit. Trump's 80, so. And here was the other thing that Elon Musk said to him, too. He said, Trump's only 3.5 more years. He said, I'm 40 plus. That kind of goes into how we say, like, Trump's temporary. He's not going to be a thing. I mean, this, for one thing, this is his last time presidency, and he's 80 years old. He can't even when he's talking to somebody 40, 50, 60, he can't even talk about plans, things he's going to be doing 5 years from now. He might be dead.
Right.
So, Republicans uneasy over Trump-Musk spending bill. And this Mike Johnson's a straight-up clown, too.
Some Republican lawmakers were quick to pick sides. Others indicated that they hope the two can overcome their differences.
It's perfect, too, because I bought popcorn yesterday, too. You know, we got the butter popcorn. Let me tell y'all what kind of popcorn we got. I'm going to tell y'all what we got real quick. Don't mind the dishwasher. So I got the Palo popcorn, 2 for $6. Got the premium cheddar cheese. And then the movie theater butter popcorn flavor. Fire. Super fire. Yep. That's for the festivities. All right, y'all. Justice for Sade Robinson, too. The jury is in deliberation today. Well, they started last night, like we were telling y'all last night. They started about 4:30. So hopefully they'll have a verdict. How soon do you think that verdict could come back this morning?
You had said 10 last night. I said noon, so I'm going to say somewhere in between.
All right, y'all. We're going to finish getting ready, and then we'll get back to this episode. Enjoy your weekend.
I don't know what he's going to do. He talked about
and spread the word.
He did a poll on Twitter today.
Here's some John Coltrane, y'all. I mean, this is Miles Davis, my bad. This is off the Kind of Blue album, if y'all are interested in checking out some Miles Davis. I think we're supposed to see about 75 today for weather. Hopefully it don't rain. Yep. See how my first sip of coffee's doing. Let's see. That's good. That's good coffee. Yeah, so not too much happening today other than work. And then when I get home, I'm going to finish watching the Sade Robinson trial. Like I said, the jury is deliberating, so hopefully this will be over today. Hopefully the jury will come back and find Max Anderson guilty of first-degree intentional homicide. And then he can just go away forever. And then Sade's family can start, you know what I mean? Getting some peace of mind and start trying to look forward. Because just think about that. Not only did they have to deal with their daughter being killed, it's just like that happened about 14 months ago already now. And so it's like you want to start trying to get over it, and then it's just like, damn, the trial doesn't start for well over a year. So that's kind of crazy. So I saw her mom fall asleep in court yesterday. We were watching the court, and they would pan over to her mother's, and she was asleep. But I was like, shit, I'd probably be nodding off too in there. You know how stressed she's got to be? And just how what she goes through every day. I'd be tired as fuck too. Shit. Because she's probably not sleeping very much. I can't even imagine, man. Yeah, I can't even imagine the experience. That's why I thank God that I don't have to experience that, and I hope no one else has to experience that, having a loved one killed in that manner. Your daughter or your son, or you know what I mean? Man, especially as a mother or a father, you expect your kids to bury you, not for you to bury your kids. You know what I mean? You, as a parent, as an adult, you expect to see a kid or someone younger than you live longer than you, not the other way around, especially when it's a family member. You know what I mean? So that sucks. All right, y'all. I think what I'm going to do is go get me a cigarette, a couple sips of this coffee, and then I'm going to let some of this music play for a minute, y'all. All right? Let's get back to this. I'm going to play music for y'all know how to do it, maybe about 90 seconds. If you're not interested, fast forward about 90 seconds. And enjoy your weekend. It's Friday, y'all. Or Friday, what people say or whatever. It's all good. But, I love the infighting that's going on between Trump and Elon Musk. I love it. Get the popcorn ready and just sit back and watch these two bitches just get after each other. I love it. Because us as Harris supporters and Democrats, we sat back and told all y'all this. We said, Michelle and I were saying it months ago, like them two ain't going to get along forever. They're two headstrong people. They're going to butt heads. Their two worlds are going to collide. It's not going to work. And you're seeing that all playing out. I mean, everyone was saying that. Anyone with half a brain was telling you that them two weren't going to work out like that. Just two huge egos, billionaires, that think they're the smartest guy in the room type shit. That don't work like that. You got two huge egos trying to work together in politics? Come on. So, yeah. But I love to see them two fighting with each other. But like I said, they're both still racists. They both still have nothing in common with none of us average folk. They're billionaires. They're so out of touch. When's the last time Donald Trump or Elon Musk has been to a goddamn grocery store? Yeah, so they're both racist pigs that I love to see argue and fight with each other. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of shit, like while they're sitting there and arguing and fussing and fighting with it and shit, and like people, like don't forget that, like they stripped the government down and they're taking shit basically from black and brown people that need it. And working class people. They're like people's SNAP benefits are being stolen, basically taken away. Do you really like some of them kids? Like that might be the only meal that they eat all day. And I don't want to hear people say, "Oh, it's not the school's responsibility." But I don't want to hear none of that shit. Should have never created the program then, and then you want to try to take it away. Ain't nobody trying to hear none of that. But yeah, they're taking SNAP benefits away. They're stripping Medicaid. Yeah, it's crazy out here. And that's why it's so important to be informed and know what the hell's going on around you. You know what I mean? So you can know how to navigate around it just a little bit better, I guess. So, yeah, anyways. But I'm going to get back to this episode. Enjoy the music, clips, contents. Go out and do something good for somebody today. And justice for Sade Robinson. The jury is in deliberation down here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for those of you that care. So we're hoping for a first-degree intentional homicide conviction coming back from that jury this morning, because they started deliberating yesterday about, it was around like 4:35, 4:40 or whatever. So we're hoping, like Michelle was asking me earlier, what time do I think they'll be done by? I think it'll be by 10 a.m. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say by 10 a.m. today, they'll have a verdict. You know what I mean? All right, let's get to this episode. Yeah, and congratulations to the Indiana Pacers for winning Game 1. Yep, they beat OKC, NBA Finals Game 1 last night by a point. I think the score was 111 to 110. All right, y'all, here's some music. I'm going to go grab a cigarette. The great Miles Davis. This is off the Kind of Blue album.
occasions. Yes. Is there a story that makes God cry? Can I bring me to heaven to get God high? They say the pineal gland is the God eye, or the third one. Yours from the dictionary, heaven is where my words from. Maybe hell. Chilling in the crib to make your old lady crazy or your baby yell. You can hear my soul through the speakers in your JBL. That only take me a couple bars. For a lesser chick, I would lesser call. Trying to beat time, a buck 90 up the odds. For stuffed paper, I was stuck cigars. Some smoke the pain away, some drink the pain away. Me, I take it in and breathe it out on a rainy day. Never a stingy nigga, willing to get a game away. Go stay low, yeah, I'm willing to get a fame away. Fame away.
So this is crazy. So this white guy out of Maryland, he's being charged with hate crime after allegedly yelling racist slurs at black neighbors, then kicking and attempting to headbutt cops as they arrested him. This is by Yasim F. This was published on June 3rd, 2020-25. And this is from, I believe, The Atlantic. Yep, this is from The Atlantic, y'all. So it says a Maryland man was charged with several offenses, including a hate crime, after he allegedly targeted his black neighbors in 2 different incidents that took place within weeks of each other. According to Charles County deputies, 50-year-old Michael Gerard Benedict, this is a white fella, was arrested for 2 separate incidents that took place on April 4th and April 28th. Said the victims told responding officers that Benedict, who was white, yelled, quote, "You stupid ends," and ends with big lips at them when they arrived home. Wow. So he was calling them the N-word. Benedict then allegedly threw sticks and other objects into their yard while shouting that he would, quote, burn their house down with them inside. Damn, that's crazy. That's what that Benedict said. When deputies located Benedict, he admitted that he was involved in an argument with his neighbors and may have used a racial slur and made a comment about burning their home. He told deputies he was upset because of loud music blasting from their home and their motion-activated security cameras, which he said were always sounding off. Benedict was charged with making threats of arson for the incident. His neighbor petitioned for a peace order that prohibited Benedict from making contact with or harassing him or his family. A judge approved the injunction on April 8th, but only weeks later, deputies were called back to Benedict's home after he violated the order. On April 28th, the neighbor called local law enforcement to report that Benedict had once again started yelling the N-word and other insults at him and his family when they arrived home from an outing that day. The victim reported that he feared for his and his family's safety due to their previous encounters with Benedict. When officers arrived, they found Benedict sitting in his driveway. Court documents say that the 50-year-old ignored multiple commands police made, then tried to grab 2 officers' firearms and physically resisted arrest. The altercation reportedly escalated when Benedict kicked the sergeant, attempted to bite another officer's hand, and then tried headbutting 2 other officers, charging documents say. When he was finally subdued and taken to a patrol car, he allegedly yelled more obscenities towards the victim's property. He was charged with 3 counts of second-degree assault on law enforcement officers, resisting arrest, committing a race/religion-based crime against a person, and failing to comply with a peace order. He is being held in a local jail without bond. Good. See if we got some audio on that, y'all. That's crazy, huh? Yeah, that's from the Atlanta Black Star. I got some audio, y'all. Check it out.
Maryland man charged with a hate crime after allegedly yelling racist slurs at black neighbors, then kicking and attempting to headbutt cops as they arrested him. We have the details for you. There's the Perp's mugshot. Maryland man charged with several offenses, including a hate crime after he allegedly targeted his black neighbors in 2 different incidents. Took place within weeks of each other. According to Charles County deputies, 50-year-old Michael Gerard Benedict was arrested for 2 separate incidents that took place April 4th and April 28th. April 4th, deputies were called to Benedict's neighborhood to respond to a dispute with 2 of his black neighbors.
Go get a cigarette,
according to charging documents.
It's about a minute left of this video. No, about 2 minutes.
And the Longview News Journal.
If you're not interested,
the victims told responding officers that Benedict, who was white, yelled, "You stupid ends," and "ends with big lips" at them when they arrived home. Benedict then allegedly threw sticks and other objects into their yard while shouting that he would burn their house down with them inside. Very serious.
That's crazy, y'all.
When deputies located Benedict, he admitted he was involved in an argument with his neighbors and may have used a racial slur and made a comment about burning their home. So you've acknowledged a crime, a threat, terrorist threat. He told deputies he was upset because of loud music blasting from their home and their motion-activated security cameras, which he said were always sounding off. You know, it's always the same argument. Blacks are too loud. And their music, you know.
If it would have been some rock and roll or shit, dude probably wouldn't have been upset. That's why I was saying sometimes when white people get upset or they get all bent out of shape and shit, when they hear black people playing music and stuff, it's because they don't like it. It's not because it's too loud. They just don't like it. That's my opinion.
If he had been blasting these neighbors, I don't know if they were blasting music or not, country western star, would he have been upset? I don't know. And maybe that's stereotyping. I'm just telling you, it's always the blacks are too loud. And I had to act. Benedict was charged with making threats of arson for the incident. His neighbor petitioned for a peace order that prohibited Benedict from making contact with or harassing him or his family. And a judge approved the injunction April 8th, but only weeks later, deputies were back to Benedict's home after he violated the...
If y'all want to go look up some more info on that, go check that out. That's from the Atlanta Black Star, and that clip was from the Young Turks. All right, y'all. Let's get back to this episode. And thanks for everyone that's listening. We really appreciate it, you know what I mean? We ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep podcasting. We're going to keep talking our ish. You know what I mean? And rolling out information. All right, y'all.
Money on my mind with a gun on my waistline. Think about death if you planning to take mine. Shout out to the homies that's doing the state time. Wasn't race related, but know it's a hate crime. Niggas hate being broke, hate being laid on the bench. Hustle graveyard, a nigga laid on the bench. Came from the trenches, it's a pump, and it's French cook. I love drug money, plugs and dope. Then I had to think about the game. It's death or a cell, or a life full of pain. Once you get the picture, you can get about the frame. Cause fair shot, all headshots, all the same. I'm just getting money while doing this G shit. Old blowing the old, leaving the recent. Probably on the plane, I don't fuck with the free thing. Cause the Jake's all in it, rats and snakes all in it. Goes way out the way of the pigs and the snakes. Cause these vermin ass niggas gon' rat. I'm about peace, but I'm still up on the streets. So I'm looking at my piece like I left this shit black. Staying out the way of the pigs and the snakes. Cause these vermin ass niggas gon' rat. I'm about peace, but I'm still up on the streets. So I'm looking at my piece like I left this shit black.
So like I was just saying, like a little while ago, earlier in the episode, like I gave a brief analysis on why I think the Sade Robinson trial has some racial elements to it. Like I was saying, like that Max Anderson, he basically dumped her body parts all on the north side of Milwaukee and shit, where it's predominantly black people. So he was trying to create the scenario or the scene where they would think it was somebody black that did it. You know, he was driving her car all around all night in black neighborhood and all that, and then dumping her body parts in a black neighborhood, burning her car up in a black neighborhood, you know, there's mostly black people and stuff like that, to try to create the scenario that it was somebody black that did it. And then the person that he threw that gray sweatshirt or hoodie or whatever that they found in the garbage can, in the neighbor's garbage can a couple houses down from his, she was black or brown. I'm sure he knows who his neighbor is. She only lives 2 doors down, so he basically, like, tried to set her up. They had found, you know, the sweatshirt in her garbage can. I think it was her, maybe. You know what I mean? So that's race right there. That's race plays a role right there. Because why wasn't he driving her car all around through the suburbs or through the rural areas or on the south side of Milwaukee or by his house or whatever? It says, while authorities have not officially stated the disposed locations were chosen based on racial motives. It says, while authorities have not officially stated that the disposal locations were chosen based on racial motives, the fact that some of Sade Robinson's remains were found in areas with significant black populations has led to speculation and concern within the community, like I'm just talking about. For instance, her severed leg was discovered in Warnemount Park in Cudahy, and other remains were found in Milwaukee and as far as Waukegan, Illinois. The choice of these locations, especially those within or near predominantly black neighborhoods, has been perceived by some as a deliberate act meant to send a disturbing message. Community members and activists have expressed that the manner and locations of the body disposal feel like a form of racialized violence. That's what I was just saying. The act of dismemberment and the subsequent scattering of body parts in specific neighborhoods has been interpreted by some as symbolic, evoking historical traumas and systemic dehumanization of black bodies. While there is no official confirmation that the disposal of Sade Robinson's body parts in predominantly black neighborhoods was racially motivated, the context and the community perception suggests that race played a significant role in how the crime was both executed and received. The combination of the crime's brutality, the locations chosen for body disposal, and the subsequent reactions from institutions and the public have all contributed to the belief that racial dynamics are deeply intertwined with this tragic case. You know what I mean? And also, too, like, now we don't all know exactly what the jury pool is made up, but word around town is it's 12 white women and 3 alternates of only, you know, and out of all them 15, word around town is it's only 1 or 2 black people, potentially. And it's mostly women on the jury, in total white women. So it's mostly white women, basically. So there's no telling how that'll go. Some white women, you know, their white sons can be the most brutal, most shitty human beings on earth, but their white mothers will still love them like to death. And, you know, and basically, they know their son killed a whole bunch of people and they'll still act like their son's the greatest thing ever. You know what I mean? And be having sympathy and shit. So, you know what I mean? So you just hope that they find him guilty, is what I'm saying. Because all it takes is for one person to be like, and then boom. So, and like Michelle and I have been saying, because word around town is that was not Sade Robinson and that Max Anderson's first date. Remember, they're calling it the first date trial. And Michelle and I have been saying that we don't believe that's their first date, just from stuff we've heard. And just, you know, we live in the building, so, you know what I'm saying? We've heard stuff, too, and you know what I mean? We've had talks and stuff, so. And just keep in mind, you're only going to get about 80% of what's going on. There's always a little bit more going on. And we were saying that, Michelle and I were saying that. And I think that Max Anderson was in this building before, in our apartment building. That's what I think. Word around town, they had a palm print of his in the building. So we'll see if that plays out. It hasn't yet, so maybe that was rumor. Not sure. But it definitely wasn't their first date, because we were saying that because Sade was telling the property manager at the time she was going down having conversations with her about it. And that's when the lady was kind of telling her, nah, I don't think you should fuck with dude, maybe not, you know, and shit like that. So, like, so I don't know if he's been here before. Word around town is he was, but that hasn't been proved yet. But it's been proved that that was not their first date. The first date, there's video of them and Victor's together on, like, March 29th or something like that. So, yeah, but the trial should be wrapping up, I would think, by tomorrow. 45-year-old shot and killed near 11th and Lapham here in Milwaukee. This is breaking news. I'm watching the news right now. Yeah. 45-year-old shot and killed on 11th and Lapham. That's on the south side of Milwaukee for those that aren't familiar. But, yeah, that crazy about that story, that's crazy about that white dude. He's a Pewaukee native, and he killed his 3 daughters out in Washington State. Oh, they said he's well-versed in wilderness survival. He's probably hanging out in the mountains out there out in Washington. So, yeah, so he's living out there in the woods and shit amongst the bears and the bobcats and the mountain lions and shit. So they got to, yeah. So we'll see how that goes. So, yeah, he's just out in the woods. Yeah, and that's what they're just saying, the police, they're saying it's going to make it more tricky for them to find him. He's basically in the woods out there in Washington State, yeah. So we'll be looking in on that to see what's going on with that. All right.
New video revealing Shawty Robinson and Maxwell Anderson actually met days before their first date. Anderson has pleaded not guilty to charges of killing and dismembering Robinson last April. New video on your screen shows Robinson and Anderson leaving what used to be Victor's bar together on the Friday before they went on that first date, and Robinson went missing. Prosecutors in court yesterday also revealing new DNA evidence on this gray sweatshirt found in a garbage cart in an alley near Anderson's home. The sweatshirt matching one that Anderson is seen wearing the morning Robinson disappeared.
How about the swabs from the zipper pull from that jacket?
That is a single source female profile that is consistent with the standard from Sade Robinson.
The forensics expert also testifying she found Robinson's and Maxwell Anderson's DNA on the car's driver's side door handle of Robinson's vehicle, which was torched the morning after their first date. Testimony presented this morning.
I think he killed her in his car. I mean, in her car. That's why he burned it up. Because there'd be no reason to burn her car up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think he killed her in the car in his garage. And then I think he drove to that Warnemont Park area or whatever to chop and kill her and all that. So, all right, y'all. Just refilling my coffee. All right, let's get to these, let's get to some stats. How about that? Get to some stats. So, I'm going to go back to May, since that was the last full month, you know what I mean, with listeners and downloads and stuff. I won't read all the numbers, but I'll just read the states and the countries that were checking in with us this past May. So, for May, we had 406 downloads, 288 listeners. Let's see, just for May. And so for the world, obviously United States, Ukraine, Hungary, Canada, Bangladesh, United Kingdom, Iran, Serbia, Italy, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Moldova, France, and Romania. That was for the month of May. We appreciate y'all for checking in and listening and giving our podcast a chance. Okay, and then for the United States, we have Wisconsin, Utah, Washington State, Georgia, Indiana, Illinois, Virginia, Maryland, California, Colorado, Massachusetts, Wyoming, Montana, South Dakota, Arizona, New Jersey, Maryland, I said Maryland, my bad, and New York. And people are listening on Android. People are listening on Podbean, Google Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Internet Explorer, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, etc. So we appreciate it, y'all. Spread the word. You know what I mean? Y'all can buy us a cup of coffee or hit our hand at PayPal if you choose to at DV Johnson 73. That's D, V as in Victor, Johnson 73. Shout out Collectivo Coffee. And with that, we will get back to this episode, y'all. We got the weekend coming up. The finals start today. I'm going to roll with OKC if I'm a betting man. I'm not betting on it, but I'm saying. But like I said, I would not be upset if Indiana won. I would not be upset at all. All right, y'all. Let's get back to the episode. Enjoy the music, clips, and the content. Peace and blessings, y'all. It's Thursday. It is Thursday, June 5th. NBA Finals start today, y'all. Yep, game 1. OKC versus Indiana Pacers. Enjoy the music, the clips, and the content, y'all. We're coming to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, y'all. Let's get to this episode. We're going to read some stats today, and we got a lot of other good content for y'all today as well. So we just hope life's treating everyone well. Go out and do something good for somebody, you know what I mean? Hopefully it's sunny where you are. I think we're going to be in like the low 70s, I believe, today. I'm not sure if it's supposed to rain again or not, but we'll find out. So yeah. It is Thursday, y'all. Yep. I'm so excited for the NBA Finals to start. In one way, it's kind of sad because you're like, damn, the season's about to be over. You know, it's like the finals are starting, but you're like, that also means it's the end of the season. So that's kind of a downer, but looking forward to Big Brother 27 coming up here soon. All right, y'all, I'm rambling already, though. I'm going to start getting ready for work, and let's get to this episode. All right, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Is there a story that makes God cry? Can I bring me to heaven to get God high? They say the pineal gland is the God eye, or the third one. Yours from the dictionary, heaven is where my words from. Or maybe hell. Gin in the crib can make your old lady crazy or your baby out. You can hear my soul through the speakers in your shady lab. That only take me a couple bars, shit. Before I lust a chick, I would lust a car. Trying to beat time, $1.90 up the aisle. Before I stuff paper, I would stuff cigars. Some smoke the pain away, some drink the pain away. Me, I take it in and breathe it out on a rainy day. Never
that's one way you know that this case has some racial elements to it, like racism or, because check this out. Now just think about this. I'm having a cigarette too, if you hear me. I'm just watching, I'm home from work. I'm just chilling now. I'm waiting to go get Michelle in a little bit. So I'm just getting caught up on the trial. But, they said, okay, so as I'm just as you watch the trial and stuff like that, and you just kind of see everything play out, right? So not like what I truly believe, right? Well, first of all, I believe, I could be wrong, but I think he killed her in his garage in the car. I think it was a situation where they probably, he walked her out or whatever, and then they went into the garage, and then, because he has a couch in there too. On the videos, they showed a couch. So maybe they were chilling on the couch for a minute or chilling or whatever. He might have drugged her or whatever. Or a scenario where maybe they, went to the garage, because I think that's where she parked at. So then I think that they went to the garage when they left his house, when they were leaving or whatever, went to the garage, or, right through that side door probably, went in, and then she was probably walking around maybe to the car to get, to the driver's side door. He might have been walking behind her. He could have grabbed her up right then and stabbed, because they said she was stabbed in her chest or whatever area 7 times or whatever. So he could have did it like that, or he could have waited till they got in the car. He might have been like, I'll just get in the car with you or whatever, for a minute, say goodbye, blah, 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 or, type thing. Oh, okay. So they might have been sitting in the car together, and that's probably where he maybe started stabbing her up. Because at that point, in that environment, because I don't know if the roommate was home or not at that time, but let's say the roommate was home, plus it's late at night, I don't think he would kill her upstairs, because they're showing on the footage during the trial. They were showing, because the police were just watching a video of that night, right? Because his window, the above window is just he didn't have no blinds over it or nothing. He had a plant kind of thing in front of it or whatever. So they were monitoring like silhouettes or body movement, what they thought were figures moving around and stuff like that, all night. So I don't he knows he doesn't have blinds on the window, so I don't think he would kill her up there. That would be the dumbest thing ever, right? So I would think he probably killed her in his car, in her car in the garage, because she probably parked in the garage. So at that point, that's going to be the quietest place in that environment, within the house and the garage area and the yard and all that, right? Because now you're going to be in the garage and then inside of the car with the windows closed. So that's probably where he killed her, and that kind of makes sense because he burned the car too. You know what I mean? The windows were all fogged up. That's just from the adrenaline, and dude's probably sweating and you're all nervous and breathing all hard. And then if she's in the car dead, you got all that heat going on, and it's just fogging, we all been in a car before where you're in there and, you might be overheating, you're hot or whatever, and then the windows kind of start fogging. Everyone's experienced that. So that's probably what that was. But yeah, that's what I think. I think he killed her inside of the car, inside of the garage, and then drove around. And here's where it gets racial to me, in my opinion. This is my opinion. So he drives her car through the north side, right? All night, driving around through the north side and shit. Drove around past our apartment building where she lived too. You know what I'm saying? He drove past here a couple different times. Right in front of the Lakefront Brewery. There's a video of that. They just show a video of that. And here's the other thing. If she drove past her apartment, why wouldn't she not pull into the parking lot? Her car never returned to the parking lot. It drove past Lakefront Brewery, went up Humboldt, finished going up Commerce, made the little left. You know what I'm saying? Boom, on Humboldt, crossed North Avenue, and, kept going straight up Humboldt. And then it went all the way to Capitol, busted left on Capitol, and went up Capitol, and came back down Capitol, and all this other different shit. So my point is, here's where it's racial to me. So he was probably like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to drive her car around the north side, you know what I mean, and then dump her body parts on the north side, because then people would just think, oh, okay, well, black girl, somebody black, it's a black neighborhood, burn the car up in a black neighborhood, so they'll think, oh, it's a black suspect, and all this type of shit. You know what I mean? That's racial. He made it racial. That's right. Driving her shit off, because why wouldn't he drive her shit around on the south side or out in the suburbs or whatever? You know what I mean? So that's where it's racial to me. It's like, oh, I'm gonna just drive through the city of Milwaukee where no one gives a fuck. Or maybe they'll think it's one of her black family members or some shit like, you know what I mean? And then too, the garbage can that he threw that jacket in, that nasty ass jacket or whatever that they found in his garbage can, well, not his, but neighbors like a couple of doors down. I think she was either a black or Latin woman. You can tell just by the name. You know what I mean? So that was probably calculated. Who knows? He might have threw it in her shit to make her a suspect. You know what I'm saying? To try to tie it to Sade because they're both black or whatever, or brown or whatever. So who knows? But you know what I mean? Just think about that. Just really think about that. He tried to make it look like someone else black did it. Because why would he choose to drive all around the north side? You don't know who all she hangs out with and what type of people she hangs. She might have all white friends for all you know. She was hanging out with him. He's white. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know what I mean. It makes some sense if you really think about that. Just really think about that. He took the time to drive her car all around through the north side afterwards, right? And then drove her car, burned it, and then threw her body parts all around in the city, over on the north side or the west side or whatever. You know what I mean? And then burned her car up on the north side. Why are you doing that all on the north side? Why? You know what I mean? You killed her on the south side. If he killed her at his house, why would you drive all the way to the north side? You know what I mean? Because if you were trying to just try to dump body parts, like why didn't you drive through Illinois, or why didn't you drive, to the suburbs and do it, or why didn't you, you know what I mean? So.
Go to sleep and travel. I know the beast can tempt me. I know the snakes can rattle, but no one's half the battle. Headed up Sheep's Creek, no one likes to paddle. Live in a high rise, no one likes to gravel. Fuck with the gangsters, no one likes to tattle. Winning the war, but no one likes to battle. Love loss is a blood loss. God made clay, but what's the price that the mud cost? Dirt got wet, cause you sweat when you bust off. Knew it wasn't sin, but you know it was a win. Got clips to the end, but you know it began. Got away with it before, so you doing it again. I would probably do the same. See the dark, see the light, so I'm calling it a game. See the clouds through the joint, so I'm calling it a lane. It's the picture without a cam, I'm calling it a frame. Ghost.
Several states have notably high numbers of unsolved homicides, primarily due to low clearance rates. While specific figures for 2024 are not yet fully compiled, historical data from 2013 to 2022 provides insight into states with significant challenges in solving homicide cases. According to a report by 24/7 Wall Street, the following states have the highest number of unsolved homicides during the 2013-2022 period. California, with 19,261 reported murders and a clearance rate of 61.2%, approximately 7,472 cases remain unsolved. In Texas, out of 15,266 murders, a clearance rate of 62.3% left about 5,753 cases unsolved. In Florida, reported 10,131 murders with a clearance rate of 62.1%, resulting in roughly 3,836 unsolved. And Pennsylvania had 7,419 murders and a 56.9% clearance rate, leading to about 3,196 cases unsolved. And in Georgia, with 6,309 murders and a 56.8% clearance rate, approximately 2,725 cases remain unsolved. These figures indicate that states with larger populations and urban centers tend to have higher numbers of unsolved homicides, often correlating with low clearance rates.
So as of late 2024, several U.S. cities are grappling with significant numbers of unsolved homicides. Here's a breakdown of some of the cities with the highest counts and clearance challenges. My bad, y'all. So these are some of the cities with the most unsolved homicides in 2024. Indianapolis, Indiana. They have over 100 homicides that remain unsolved in 2024. It says approximately 32% indicated a substantial backlog. So their clearance rate, approximately 32% indicating a substantial backlog. So that sounds like 3 out of every 10 homicides are just sitting on the shelf, not getting done. Says the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department is facing a shortage of nearly 300 officers, impacting investigative capacity. That's from WC.com. St. Louis, Missouri, they have, it says since 2017, they have, says more than 50% of the city's 1,337 homicides remain unsolved. Wow. While there has been some improvement, the clearance rate still hovers around 50%. Birmingham, Alabama. So they have, says in 2024, out of 84 homicides, 42 remain unsolved. And these numbers are from last year. So half their homicides are still unsolved. That's a lot. Approximately 46%, which they call an improvement from previous years, but still below national averages. That's from WVTM13.com if you want to go check some more information on that. Nashville, Tennessee. Unsolved cases. The Metro Nashville Police Department has over 500 unsolved homicide cases dating back to the 1960s. Wow. How long? That's over 60-some years ago, if I'm doing that in my head real quick. 2024 homicides. It says the city recorded 104 homicides in the year 2024, which is continuing a trend of triple-digit homicide counts for the fourth consecutive year. That's from WKRN as in Nancy.com. Number 5, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sorry, y'all were having a cigarette. In 2024, the city investigated 42 homicides with a clearance rate of 54.8%, slightly below the national average. Some of the challenges that they face in Pittsburgh, they're saying the homicide unit has seen a reduction in staff, now operating with 10 fewer detectives than 5 years ago. That's from WXI.com. And Pine Bluff, Arizona. This says since 2019, 64 homicides remain unsolved. This is music from Miles Davis. This was from December 23rd, y'all, 1965. This was at the Nickel Club in Chicago, Illinois. The Plugged Nickel. Yep, Miles Davis, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Tony Williams, y'all. Yep, this was the third set they did that night. Ooh, good catch, baby. As of 2024, Wisconsin, what would your guess be, just a random guess in your mind, just for the entire state? How many unsolved homicides do you think we have in 2024?
In Wisconsin?
I know it's a put you on the spot kind of question. It's hard to...
5,000.
Wow. Thank God it ain't that high, but...
Oh.
It says as of 2024, Wisconsin has approximately 1,714 unsolved homicides.
Oh, what was the total number of homicides, does it say?
Okay, here we go. I'm getting to that right here.
Oh.
I'm getting to that right here, baby. It says as of 2024, Wisconsin has approximately 1,714 unsolved homicides, according to data compiled by Project Cold Case. This figure encompasses cases across the state, including both recent incidents and other cold cases. And that's from uncovered.com, if anyone wants to do a little more deep dive. So Milwaukee unsolved homicides says in Milwaukee, the state's largest city, the issue of unsolved homicides is particularly pronounced. Between 2020 and 2024, the city experienced over 900 homicides. In a 4-year period, baby. Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
It said in Milwaukee, we had over 900 homicides in a 4-year period. It says with several hundred remaining unsolved. While the homicide rate in Milwaukee has been decreasing from a peak of 215 in 2022 to 131 in 2024. The clearance rate for these cases has not kept pace, leaving many families without closure. That's from the Milwaukeeans.organization and the BadgerInstitute.org. Wisconsin is part of the East-North Central region, which includes Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. This region has a violent crime clearance rate of approximately 36%. That's not high, which is lower than the national average. This suggests that a significant portion of violent crimes, including homicides, remain unsolved in Wisconsin and its neighboring states. And there's a lot that goes into that.
I was just going to say, like...
Bad police work, people not wanting to come forward, not wanting to talk. And some of that goes into not trusting the police. Yeah. And sometimes people will be having warrants and shit, so they don't want to call the police.
Or they're afraid.
Yeah, or they're afraid. So there's a lot that goes into it. Like I said, sometimes police don't do as great a detective work, like we say, like maybe they should all the time.
Not only do you have to tell them what happened, but you have to testify in court.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't want to do that because they're afraid.
Yeah. That's why you see some
people. I would be too.
Like in the Shade Robinson trial, you see some of the witnesses aren't even having their faces shown.
Right. But if you're in the courtroom, you know what they look like.
That's true. So let's see. I'll just read this real quick. So, Milwaukee Homicide Database. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel maintains a comprehensive database tracking homicides in the city, providing details on each case. Project Cold Case. This organization offers a searchable database of unsolved homicides across the United States, including Wisconsin. As you hear police sirens going by. Kenosha County Cold Case Files. The Kenosha County Sheriff's Office provides information on unsolved homicides within the county. Yeah, y'all, so those are just some of the little numbers. And the reason I brought this up is because I was watching the Sade Robinson trial yesterday, and then in the chat on one of the feeds I was watching, they weren't from here. Someone was like, oh, because they were talking about how great the camera work was and stuff like that from some of the surveillance they were showing. And someone was like, oh, their cameras are really good in Milwaukee. I bet they saw a lot of homicides. You know what I mean? And I didn't comment, but I was like, you know what, let me check. And plus, I just kind of know, just living here, I'm like, we have a lot of unsolved homicides and shit, murders or whatever. So I looked it up, so that's why we started reading some of this information. But yeah, that's crazy. All right, y'all. Get back to this episode. This is out of Lake County or Lake Park, Florida. This white guy's getting pulled over. I think he has some meth in the car.
Do you understand why you're detained to see what was on the hood?
No.
There's a bag of meth.
Where?
Alright, I'll show you. It's right there on me.
She said whenever we got out and we went to walk up here, she touched that button. Shift to the right. But as soon as I got out and I walked around, she laid down over here somewhere.
Hey Morgan, the bag that you got out with that you stuck in the wheel that's full of meth is also yours.
Did you plant that there?
No, we pulled it out of the wheel.
Planted that there on me with the dope bag that you just dropped. You know what's funny is someone else violation reason.
This is a consensual encounter.
This is called police brutality. Swear, sir. Let me tell you this. This is police brutality. You cannot pull up on people like this, like you and her are doing.
You're going back to prison.
You were in the van picking up people struggling on a 2-mile run when a shirtless civilian came outside with a gun in his hand. He had a Sons of Anarchy design on his window and a black 9mm in his hand.
All right, we're going to go over to his house to see if we could make contact with him.
Derek?
Out here, Derek.
How's it going, Derek?
What happened, man?
What happened?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with the Coast Guard, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning running down this road yelling. I have a problem with that when I just went to sleep. And with all the garbage that goes on around here, yes, I'm going to walk outside with my pistol. Because I didn't know what it was. But they don't need to run down this road at 5 o'clock in the morning.
So this is out of Florida. This white dude, he snapped. Because, some U.S. soldiers, they're basically like training or whatever. So they're, jogging past the house or whatever. This white dude, he got all pissed off and came outside with his pistol and shit, threatening them.
How long have you lived here?
I've lived here all my life.
They've been doing this for...
They have not been doing it for 5 or 10 years. So don't tell me they've been doing it all the time.
Derek.
They have not been doing it for 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Because I've lived there, I've lived here, and plus I've lived right around the corner. I went to Boone. I went to Conway.
Okay.
Do I need to say any more?
What did you do with the gun, Derek?
I put it back up.
I know, but when you came out, what?
I had it behind my back. So he saw it when I turned around and went back in the house.
Bullshit, you were waving it at them.
Pointing it down? Is he just waving around, or is he going like this, like
going like this.
Okay, so he was doing it at like chest level?
Chest, yeah.
So was he pointing it up, down? Like, I just want specifics.
It was like right around here.
Okay, so he was pointing at you guys screaming.
Case is closed.
Okay.
Derek, don't even do it. Don't do it, Derek. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Got a heart problem there.
Don't do this. Just
Y'all
chill.
are doing it.
Just chill out.
Don't resist.
Just chill out.
Don't resist.
Just chill out. Don't
Let go of my goddamn arm.
Don't do it.
Listen, you're going to be detained right
Yeah,
now.
don't do it.
Let me call my wife.
We will.
Don't do it, Derek.
Derek, hey.
You're going to put yourself in a lot of problems if you keep this up, okay?
Hey, we're going to.
All right.
Derek.
Derek, put your arms behind your back.
Oh.
Derek's parents should have raised him better.
There you go. Now you're breaking something. I'm not letting go. Nancy!
Derek, she's breaking too.
Oh, wow.
It's all good. I got his arm.
All right. Derek, put your other arm behind your back.
Oh.
Why'd you do this?
Why'd you do it?
Stop.
Go to the car, Derek.
Won't y'all have balls and pull up in front of people's houses like you always do? That's what you said. I want to talk to my wife. Well, I ain't got nothing else on. Let me grab my drawers.
Stop kicking my car.
I ain't kicking your car.
So how are we looking?
He's groggy.
Oh, I ain't got nothing on me.
What?
He's raw dogging. He doesn't have any
Yeah. Let go. Have a seat.
Like I said, now go get my wife.
We will. I'll talk to her. Have a seat.
Go get her. I want to see her.
Get in the car.
Look, give us her bosses.
Derek, please.
You're not in charge here, Derek.
You're not in charge here, Derek. Get in the car.